there's a problem. I said in the last episode that this week was going to be a polished podcast. And Charlie, I haven't done anything in preparation, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to just start with a quote from Batman Forever. If knowledge is power, then a god am I. How do you want to do one? Can be any Batman villain, indeed, live action or animated.
Oh, you've put me on the spot here.
I had Riddler ready to go, mate.
Yeah, but you was prepared for this, you know? You said you wasn't prepared.
No, I improv'd it.
You improv'd it. Oh, fantastic.
No, well, I thought a couple of minutes ago I need to say something for the start of the podcast, and I thought Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
So, yeah,
Why not?
It was premeditated by a few minutes.
Why not? Yeah, I'm terrible when I'm put on the spot with things like that. I have to think, have some time. Maybe later. Maybe halfway through I can come up with something.
So if you cook up a nice Batman villain quote now...
Just chuck it. Chuck it in.
Chuck it out when it's hot.
Yeah.
Chuck it out when Batman's relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sweet,
Which
sweet.
was supposed to be this year, wasn't it? But
Batman?
Was it this year or was it
No,
always next
it was
year?
always 2021, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Now it's like
good.
March 2022.
Oh, yeah. It got pushed to the... Fuck, that was it, yeah.
Like a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Full Fat Podcast. It's the second episode of our new run after a long lockdown break. We're here to talk Mandalorian, episode 3, The Heiress. What do you think, Charlie?
Solid episode.
Yeah.
Solid episode.
But before all that, what did you get up to this week?
Well, what much can you get up to, Matt? You know, to be fair, in the lockdown. I mean, you've seen me.
I've seen
it's
you.
For the people, I guess.
I've seen you working across from me, sat in the armchair in the corner of the room. Yep. Looks like you've been very busy.
And now and then, me and Matt like to just give each other little looks.
Yeah.
And just let each other know.
And I tell him I'm editing like some sort of Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And he tells me he's jealous.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. I just get a bit sad, really. No, it's all good. To be fair, I like to hear what you're editing and telling me about, which has been some good shit recently.
Oh, have you liked?
As you guys know from watching the channel.
They might just watch the podcast exclusively. Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe. They're expecting Doctor Who.
And they're getting Mandalorian. So nothing new in your life? I'm saying this like I wouldn't know.
Did I? I watched Onward. Did I say about that last podcast? Is that new?
No, I'm pretty
sure
so.
I didn't. Which I hadn't seen. So a 2020 movie to talk about. I really enjoyed it. I actually teared up a bit. Actually, it got to me quite a bit. Towards the end, I just really liked the sort of the bromance it had. You know, the old, the whole older brother and not having a father and him sort of being the father figure. And I really liked all that kind of stuff. I thought it was a really clever idea that he's there. Like, I really liked the world itself.
I thought the third act was strongest.
Yes, yeah.
But it seems like you enjoyed it more than I did, because I really thought first act kind of just after the the old warrior destroys her like restaurant.
Oh,
the one with the wings. I can't really remember it that well.
Once they get going,
that scene was awful, I thought, and everything preceding that, I was like, I don't think this is very good. I thought the premise was a really tough sell with the dad being... spoilers for Onward if you haven't seen it. The dad being kind of like half-formed. I thought it was clever, but then it was really, really weird. It's a really off-kilter idea to have just some legs running around.
I quite enjoyed that because I thought I like it. It kind of sort of fit that kind of Pixar weirdness that they've been doing recently with like Inside Out and stuff. I feel like I kind of liked that. Obviously, like animation is like you do things that you can't necessarily do in film. You can push things, and I quite like you can get a bit weird with animation and things like that. I quite enjoyed.
I'm all for weird. I just thought it didn't really come together until the finale. I felt like the interplay between the characters was a lot stronger, and it wraps up nicely. I did enjoy it. But it seems like you enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I did really enjoy it. I think it was immediately. I do see what you're saying. I just think immediately I was hooked by the dynamic between the two brothers. I really liked how the older brother wasn't necessarily like most movies. He's like the cool older brother who like, you know, the kids looked up to, or he picks on the younger kid a bit more.
He's a bit more like you to your younger brothers. Like you're a bit of a bum.
a bit of a loser. Yeah. exactly. And I think that's what I liked about it. I like that he's like trying to get the younger brothers to play with him, and they don't want to. He doesn't want to play with him. I'm like, that was too real. They're like, grow up, Charlie. Stop playing with Star Wars figures. They're like 14.
You're almost 43.
Yeah, exactly. So I liked that. I thought that was new.
Their kids come in. They're like, "Why is Uncle Charlie still on the sofa?" Oh, well, he's going through some stuff. Why has he got his Star Wars figures all over the living room? Isn't it supposed to be your house,
I'm just
Dad?
sad, just smashing like a Boba Fett and Mandalorian figure together. Yeah.
Your brother's just like this multi-millionaire gamer. For those of you that don't know, we should give him a shout out.
We should actually, yeah.
Charlie's brother has just become like, well, he's always been a gamer, isn't he?
Yes.
I say it with a hard R.
Gamer.
He 1v1 rusted you, didn't he?
Yeah. So basically, I was playing him. Basically, I've been giving it the big and saying, look, Call of Duty 4, we'll play each other. Well, no, Modern Warfare, isn't it?
He can beat you at the new Call of Duties, but you posited that the old Call of Duties were your bag.
Exactly, right? That, yeah. And so I thought, well, I grew up playing these. I was good at playing these games back then. But I hadn't played them since. So I thought, there's no way you can 1v1 rust me.
Yeah,
that was my shit.
Yeah,
and it turns out. Not only am I rusty, but this motherfucker knows all the spawn points. So every time I respawned, he was already there to kill me. It was literally the biggest arse whooping I've probably ever taken on a game before. Like,
amazing.
He just destroyed me.
He knows all the spawn points.
He knows all the respawn points.
What a sweat.
I know.
What's his tag? What's his details?
Yeah, so check him out on Twitch. His name's Frederico, but it's spelt with an I instead of a E.
Could you spell it out for us?
So Fred...
Rico,
R-I-C-O. Yeah,
you sat there thinking, wow, what a great plug, guys.
He fucked it,
yeah. Fantastic.
But yeah.
Well, be sure to check him out if you like gamery things.
Yep.
And he's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Lots
pretty
of
good.
Competition.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he plays a lot of first-person shooters. If you like doing that,
okay. I don't know if you were ever very good at Call of Duty though.
I was alright.
You were alright.
Yeah,
I don't think you were as bad as me.
Was you not very good?
I was okay, but me and my friend Avinash, you remember Avinash?
I do.
The boy. Shout out to Avinash if he's listening.
The boy, yeah. Shout out to Avinash.
Predominantly, I think year 8, year 9, we would just log into like a single deathmatch game, just the two of us, and I would play with like a short range weapon, and he would always elect to be like a sniper, and it would just be like a game of cat and mouse. So I would try and run up and shoot him, and he'd just snipe me.
Amazing.
But we both weren't. I think I can say this, Avinash. We both weren't great. So it's like
brilliant.
The blind leading the blind.
Fantastic. I actually met a guest that you've had on it before for the first time through playing Call of Duty, which was Harry Bagg.
You met Harry Bagg through Call of Duty?
Yeah, through playing Call of Duty. Obviously, we went to school with him, but
yeah,
I didn't speak to him until Call of Duty.
That's funny because I think I actually told the podcast before that when he was on the first time I met him I knew him for his Year 7 YouTube channel where he did movie reviews.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't realise that I'd been commenting through my channel knowing he was the guy from school, and he didn't realise I was a guy from school. So I said to him, like, I'm Matt's man. And then he was like, whoa, you're him? What do you mean? Yeah. Then we started our long 11-year collab.
Yeah.
And he's still editing videos with me today.
Yeah.
He edited.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's editing a video that's going to come out this week, actually, on the 3 Faces of Vader, which may or may not be out by the time you listen to this. I'm very organised, as you can tell, and I definitely know what day the video is going to be coming out alongside the podcast.
Those fucking creatives, eh?
I know, exactly. When can we get Jordan back?
Yeah.
But yeah, The Mandalorian, the heiress. What did you think?
Solid episode. I really enjoyed it. For me, just to get it out of the bat, I still feel like the first episode's been my favourite so far.
I would completely agree. That one had the spectacle for me, but also the character work, the emotional payoffs.
Yep.
3 is kind of a little bit more like, here's this adventure. Here's a little bit of plot, and now the characters he meets need him to do a thing, so we're going to go do the thing, and then we'll catch up with the plot next week or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a disservice to say that in terms of... I think we'll go full spoilers at this point, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, obviously, Bo-Katan turns up from Clone Wars, which I thought was incredible, and they translated the character perfectly.
Spit an image.
Yeah, like, right down to her build. I don't know how they did that. Like, maybe it's just the way Katie Sackhoff is built, or whether they did it, but, like, she looks and moves, I felt like a bit like the cartoon. I don't know if it's just because the costume is so one-to-one.
Doesn't she voice it?
Yeah, she does,
So maybe they did some motion capture? maybe at some point.
Maybe. I don't think they did
Didn't
much
they do
motion
it with
capture
7?
outside of like the Darth Maul
Stuff.
Ahsoka fight in Clone
Yeah.
Wars. I'm pretty sure they didn't do motion capture, but maybe they based the original character on her build. I don't know, but like she just looked exactly like the animated character. It was quite weird.
Yeah.
But very awesome. It bodes very well for seeing Ahsoka turn up, and indeed more characters from Clone Wars and Rebels.
100%.
And also, she was really fun. The rapport with Mandalorian was great.
I mean, great, and we got I thought, a brilliant reveal this episode.
Yes, would you like to tell? Well, remind me, rather.
Yes. What I thought was great was that Mandalorian is essentially the Mandalorian we've been following. Is essentially
He's
in
a cultist.
Yeah,
He's a bloody Scientologist
job.
wacko. I'm joking.
We all thought it was the way, but turns out it's not quite the way, is it?
It's one of those things that as soon as you hear it out loud, it's like, yeah, would be kind of silly to not take off your helmet, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It must
it's
get
true.
pretty ripe in there.
It's true.
And it wouldn't make you a true Mandalorian, would it? I actually thought before this reveal came out that, you know, when people say like, oh, Boba and Jango, they're not true Mandalorians, they were like adopted in, they take off their helmets. Like, to me, it's, I think what we were saying last time, it's just like the equivalent of someone who goes to church on a Sunday and someone who says, oh God, when they're hanging off a cliff.
Yes.
You know, like arguably both people believe in God, but one of them is devout, one of them
yeah.
is, you know,
Devoted.
yeah, when the going gets tough. So that was just how I viewed Jango and Boba, and then I thought, obviously, Din Djarin was a lot more devout. But to actually suggest today that he's like an extremist and the Watch are a bunch of Mandalorian weirdos and they're actually shunned by the rest of the Mandalorian culture is incredible. And also, like,
So good.
puts him for his paces because he kind of has this sneering attitude towards Bo-Katan and her allies when they take off their helmets, and then for her to then flip back on him and be like, no, you're the weird one here. Like,
Yeah.
you're the crazy
Yeah, no,
mate.
it was good. You're right, exactly did that. It was kind of like, oh yeah, wait a minute, it is pretty weird. Like, did they? And then it made me question, if they have aircon inside those masks, which I'm pretty sure they don't. But maybe the ones that they Bo-Katan had, because they look pretty cool. They were like,
I think the thing is they're all just fuck ugly, and they don't want to take their helmets off because they're fuck ugly.
they're fucking ugly, yeah.
And Din Djarin is the only handsome one,
Yeah.
but he's just gone along with it because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah, they've just told him, just
Yeah.
you keep it on.
He takes it off, and Bo-Katan's like, "Wow, you're one ugly motherfucker."
Or like maybe like one of the Mandalorian like guys, what playing a joke on him, was like, he was a bit of an ugly Mandalorian because he knew he had some looks. He wanted the female Mandalorian himself, so he was like, "You got to keep that on."
You got to keep that on, yeah. Because if they can't see your gorgeous face, she'll definitely want to get with me. He said, yeah.
That was his,
That's some
plot.
in-betweeners logic right there. But I'll go with it. Oh, what if Carly finds out? Oh no, maybe she still won't go out with you.
Brilliant. I love that if people outside the UK listen to this, I bet there's some stuff that they don't have an absolute clue what we're saying.
Well, there was a US In-Betweeners remake, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
was
true.
panned. And it looked awful, to be fair.
It did, yeah.
I don't know if the In-Betweeners really travels across the pond, or indeed in other territories.
The humour's very ingrained in.
It is, and the
culture,
experience of growing up is like kind of what you'd get from like being like sort of Greater London in that time period. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're American or just not British and you like the In-Betweeners and you want to confirm to us, I guess.
Just
you know it
message us.
exists. Just give us a message.
Be curious.
Let us
I'm just
know, yeah.
interested to know. Just collecting some data.
If I get an email saying like in the title "bus wankers," nothing else, I'll just know that it was someone. Yeah,
just spam full fat videos email bus wankers, please, everyone.
If you'd like to know my email, it's Charlie. No. I thought it was stellar action this week as well.
Yeah.
The whole set piece with that ship coming out of the water. Also, the planet, I thought interestingly felt very much like Corellia from Solo, a Star Wars story, which is apt, isn't it? Because this week it was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who's obviously Ron Howard's daughter. And also, some people pointed out quite quickly on the internet that the crash landing at the start, where he's burning up on re-entry, it's almost kind of shot for shot reference to Apollo 13.
Oh, I did hear about this, actually. Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
That is cool, yeah.
But I just like how it was evocative of not only Ron Howard's filmography, but also his stint in Star Wars, but then it was also very much Bryce Dallas Howard's own thing.
Definitely. She's getting a lot of credit for this, and didn't she do?
So she should.
the third. She did the 4th episode of the first season. Did she do, or was this her first one? Did I make that up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was the one with the
with Gina
the
Carano.
ATST. That's like, it was like it had red eyes, didn't it, from the way they'd lit it?
That was really
cool. She was really awesome with that episode.
That was
as well.
a solid episode, as well.
Could she do Solo 2? Will Solo 2 ever happen?
I
Solo
hope
Disney
so.
Plus series.
We're Solo fans.
We're big Solo fans.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to do a Solo video
The only
for
two,
a long
apparently.
time. It was funny because we were like the only two in the cinema, weren't we? When we saw it as well, there was like no one there.
We were the biggest. We were also, the funniest part was that we were really anti this movie before.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we was even more.
That's the movie I
surprised by it.
use when people are like, "Oh, you're a fanboy. You go into this wanting to love it or wanting to hate it, vice versa." Like, I was so anti Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Yeah.
I did not care. I didn't care when Lord and Miller were on it. I didn't care when Ron Howard was on it. And then we were pleasantly surprised, weren't we? I think it's a really fun romp.
Definitely.
And yeah, it's kind of a prequel movie. There's a few hokey moments, isn't there? Like when he gets his name, but I think it's a really solid adventure that kind of understands what the core of that character is about.
Yeah, 100%. It's weird because I remember when Rogue One and Solo got announced, I remember thinking, so Rogue One was going to be the one that I was going to like the more, because I was like, you can't do Han Solo over Harrison Ford, and then that ended up being the complete opposite. I ended up loving Solo and not being a fan of.
He's a fantastic Solo, and I think he manages to hold his own off a cast with like Woody Harrelson, Donald Glover, Thandie Newton. Like they're all fantastic.
Yeah,
a
few times
when
when
John Favreau pops up. Didn't he?
Exactly, Johnny Fab. I remember when we went to see it in the cinema and we looked at each other at a certain moment, as we both was like, that was very Han Solo.
It's when he does the finger point to Woody Harrelson, isn't it?
Yeah. I was like, that was good.
And we love our boy Paul Bettany, don't we? Dryden Voss.
We do. He's fantastic. Yes, I think that's another thing. Why I liked about this episode was it, like you said, it reminded me a lot of.
We'll just pretend we didn't hear my WhatsApp notifications. I can't be bothered to cut it out later. If you heard it, you heard it.
You know, we're human beings.
Yeah, it's a conversational podcast,
exactly.
which is an excuse to just
be lazy bastards.
Chuck some tat out.
Exactly. But you're right. I think it reminded me quite a lot of the grittiness of Solo. That opening.
I feel like the lighting kind of reflected it as well.
Yes, it was a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
just felt like a lot of natural light, particularly when they were like in the ship cockpit and stuff like that. But yeah, I just liked the whole way they were snaking up the upper levels of the ship, and there was that moment where one of the Imperial officers had like trapped them in the cargo door. And then they hear over the speaker, don't they? Like, oh, they're in the cargo.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Which is a good point to bring up because I thought that the whole stuff with the Imperials was really good. I really like that you're seeing it from their perspective, and you're kind of like not scared
they're
for them,
hunted,
but
aren't they?
Yeah, they're getting hunted. It's interesting to see that. We've never seen that before.
Yeah.
In Star Wars, and I like to see the devotion of the Imperials and seeing a bit more their mindset, and I like this is what I'm enjoying about the Mandalorian so far is like giving you what you already love about Star Wars, but just giving you a little bit more, and it's never just rammed down your throat either. Like it's always like little bits of character moments that imply a whole bigger world out there. Does that make sense? Which is what I think's genius about Star Wars in the first place, is that he always did that from A New Hope. Like that's why we all love Star Wars and Star Wars universe, is that it's this everything is implied. This bigger world's implied, which we're now obviously been exploring for the past.
And it's cool to see the Empire on the back foot, because it's obviously like post Endor, and like they've still got that kind of the pomp and circumstance and the kind of the moral superiority, don't they? Like they think they're the best, but they're actually kind of vying for scraps now, aren't they? And people like Bo-Katan are taking full advantage of them and just messing with their shit. It was just great to see the commanding officer get told, "Nah, you're not going to get saved. You guys are going to die." And for him to just have that realization, and then she just immediately swallows it. Oh yeah, I'm going to kill these guys. Yeah. It was a fun episode. Also, I really liked that the frog lady from the last episode wasn't part of the threat this time, but you just would check in with her, and she was reunited with her husband, and then she took care of the baby, of the child, and it was just like a nice aside, wasn't it, to see a character who you've seen go through so much. Because I was saying to you when we were watching the episode, wasn't I? Like, she's not a bounty hunter. She's like a soccer mum that got, lumped in with a cave of spiders. I think she's had enough action for one day. She wants to go and rest up now. Like, she doesn't need to go get into any more situations.
I just like that they keep that wholesomeness, that Star Wars, that you know, the Mandalorian gets quite dark at times, I guess, for Star Wars. And I love that they have those things that keep it what Star Wars is, keeps it for, like George Lucas says, for the kids, you know. And you know, things like that. I just found that to be a really nice, like, I almost don't need to see them again, but it'd be nice if we see them to see how they're doing, sort of thing. I like that I like the Mandalorian sort of meets these people and then we don't see them for a bit. I think that's kind of one of the benefits of the show. But yeah, I mean, earlier you sang about how good the action is, and I just have to point out that I think what I've loved about the Mandalorian this season so far is that you can fucking see everything, and the action's been shot, I think really well. They're not cutting too much. Everything's pretty much done in like 1 or 2 shots, really, in terms of like a whole section of choreography. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Instead of cutting around all the time, it really. I get surprised by how much they show like a combination of a punch in one shot before they cut to something.
I think most notably in this episode was when the Mandalorian saved Din and the child on that barge, and like you were just getting some full-on John Wick moves, weren't you, Mandalorians? But it's because you probably can just swap out the actors for stunt performers, can't you?
Exactly, that's exactly what they're probably doing, which is one of the great benefits of it. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
We should be getting the best of the action,
and it's all seamless. You know, like, you don't think, oh, that's not Pedro Pascal in there. He is the Mandalorian, even if you know there's clearly a stunt performer in there kicking ass.
Exactly.
It's really nice. I'm excited for the next episode.
Yes, I am as well. Particularly because of what they imply about maybe we're getting. I don't know if we're going to see some Jedi or Ahsoka next, but it feels like we're getting more on the.
Yeah, but isn't it the 7th episode that's called The Sorcerer?
Yeah.
I'm thinking
it's probably going to be that,
yeah. The only thing I think is frustrating about this season is I do think it's going to be. I mean, you know, if I eat my words next week on the podcast, so be it, and I'd be really happy. If, the opening 10 minutes are Ahsoka. But I think what's actually going to happen is it's going to be every week he's getting closer and closer to Ahsoka, and then someone needs his help, and he goes on a side quest, and that is fun. But I do think what he should do is do what Doctor Who does so well with its arcs, is you get a couple of episodes that are like bottle episodes, and then usually. This is in like a 12 episode, 13 episode season. Episodes 4 and 5 are usually where something really plot based happens, and then you get some more kind of single parters, and then something will happen in the finale to tie it all together. So it's like you get like a big boost of a big chunk of story, and then you get satisfied. You're like, okay, we can go off on some adventures again. Whereas I feel like this is just trickling it out every week, and it's really more like single adventure. Maybe there'll be a line sprinkled in there, or like a new direction, or like a revelation, like the fact that the Watcher extremists, but there's never really anything like pushing it forwards in a big way.
100% agree with that, and I think that is kind of what it's lacking a little bit. I think I've no problem with these bottle episodes, these adventures that we go on, but I think it needs a bit more of like what you've said. I do think as well that it does come across sometimes that they're playing it not safe, but do you know what I mean? Like, they haven't really got answered. They ain't really got upset too many people because we're just going on an adventure with Mandalorian, and you're going to get loads of Star Wars references instead of like furthering the world we already know too much. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like when Rian Johnson added some false abilities in that hadn't been, you know, people got annoyed about with Luke.
Oh, the Skype chats and stuff like that.
And loads of other different aspects that were added in. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the world being people buying from the Rebels and the Imperials.
At the same time, I do think, though, the reason why it's so popular with all corners of the fan base is because it's sort of going back to what made the original Star Wars so good, and the fact that it's relying on crafting, like, really intriguing, interesting spectacle.
I agree, yeah. That is also true.
Well made and you know, pushes the technology forward.
Yeah.
And it hangs off those well-made characters that you know and love. But it would be nice to deconstruct some of the tropes we know and love from Star Wars a bit more in The Mandalorian. I definitely think so.
I do think I mean, it's early days. We're only episode 3, and I do think they're already doing some cool stuff like this. I'm saying this, but a good example of what I meant that they did do in this episode was the whole revealing the Mandalorians wearing the hat as a load of.
Wearing the hat.
Wearing the hat. Wearing the hat. Wearing the hat. Wearing the.
I never take my hat off. I'm a Mandalorian. It's a trilby.
The Troubalorian. There's a new Photoshop for you, mate.
What for my Instagram?
For Instagram, yeah.
I've started doing Photoshops on Instagram. For those of you that don't know, I just like doing my thumbnails. So I thought, rather than just doing video essay thumbnails, I'll just do some posters and stick it out there. So if you want to check that out, my Instagram, I'm pretty sure my Instagram's at Full Fat Videos.
Yeah.
Or maybe just type in Full Fat Videos.
I'm sure it'll come up.
It's something like that, innit?
Yeah.
I can never remember if it's full_fat_videos or if it's
It could be
full
that.
fat videos. Well, you know what? Try both.
You'll get there.
You'll get there somewhere, yeah. I'm sure typing in full fat videos,
Yeah.
you'll find the money.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
We're great at this, aren't we?
yeah, we're great
really
at plugging
good.
ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what? It's because we care about the cinema. That's what we want to talk about.
Exactly. Art of the cinema.
These Instagram images bear no relation to the art of cinema.
Yeah, but Mandalorian does in places. It actually, and I like how it doesn't like. I mean, I'm saying all this, but I like that there isn't a lot of exposition. There isn't a lot of dialogue. It's just we watch him, and like you've told before in your videos, it's told through the cut, isn't it, Matt? It's told through the action.
It is,
and we love that over here in the Full Fat Videos HQ, world headquarters.
we like strip back filmic exchanges,
Yes, exactly.
using the medium to its fullest.
Exactly. I feel like there's not the things with this episode is like I enjoyed it. I think it was solid. I don't really know much more to say than that in a weird way. Do you know what I mean?
It was so
It's like-
inoffensive that I'm like,
it didn't really. I mean, it didn't make me go crazy. It did. I mean, there was cool sections and bits where I was like, that was amazing, and particularly that reveal of the Mandalorians, like we said already. But other than that, it didn't. I don't know. There wasn't.
I think it's excessive to say it's the best episode of the season, but I do think it's a good episode.
So do I.
And I was happy with it. But if we're done talking about The Mandalorian, there's actually a little surprise I had in store for you.
Oh.
Something that I read up on yesterday while you were working, and I did get the urge to gush about it to you in that moment, but I thought, I need to get on, you need to get on. I'll reserve it for the podcast.
Oh,
all right?
good.
So I definitely didn't know this. Some of you at home might know this, but I know Charlie definitely didn't know this, and I'm about to blow his mind.
Go.
So, you remember Star Wars Battlefront 3, the original Star Wars Battlefront 3 that was after the original 1 and 2 that got cancelled, and it was made by Free Radical, who made Time Splitters.
Yes.
Right. Whilst they were developing Star Wars Battlefront 3, they were also developing Star Wars Battlefront 4. This was before Disney bought Lucasfilm. I don't know if this was Free Radical. I think this was a different developer, so it was sort of like Lucasfilm were getting Free Radical to make their one, and then they were also developing this other version, right? And it would have been a radical departure from previous installments by following an alternate saga timeline, one that turned iconic Jedi to the dark side and villains into Jedi. Alright?
What? Okay.
And not only do I have some details about this, but I have loads of pictures.
No, you don't.
I do. I do.
There's some filthy imagery.
I don't know how I'm going to do this, because obviously I'll have to turn the laptop around and we've got it all hooked up to the mic. So what I might do is I might CMP images as I tell you and then send them to you on WhatsApp.
Send that shit to me.
So just so everyone
Send
at
those
home is really
dirty
clear on
pictures,
this. Yeah.
those filthy images to me.
Okay,
Keep talking dirty though. Keep talking dirty. Wait,
Okay, so first off,
here we go.
There's a Dark Side Obi-Wan. And this Dark Side Obi-Wan comes in a variety of different flavours. You get Episode 1, Dark Obi-Wan. You get Episode 2, Dark Obi-Wan. And you get like this awesome old Obi-Wan, right? That he looks like Alec Guinness, but he's in kind of like a Vader-esque outfit and he's bald with a beard.
All right, well, this has gone tits up because it's not letting me sign to WhatsApp on my computer.
Oh,
phone's
no.
not in the room.
How am I going to show you?
I don't know.
What are we going to do?
Shall I go grab my phone quick? 2 seconds.
Yeah, shall I just filibust?
Yeah, you can do that if you want. Yeah.
Because once again, viewers, I really don't want to have to cut this together tomorrow. I've got a lot on. I'm working on a new Star Wars video. It's going to be very exciting this week. I'm also working on a video for the Doc 2 50th anniversary, and I didn't realise that the 50th anniversary is actually on Monday next week. Those of you that follow the video release pattern, I usually release like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Monday, yesterday, was a real rude awakening, and I'm now doing all of that day of the Doctor work simultaneously with the Star Wars work. And I've got Harry Bagg helping me edit the Star Wars video, so he's obviously being very helpful, but it's still quite a lot. So yeah, in short, I don't want to do any cuts to this now.
Right. Well, I'm looking at these images, these filthy images. What's going on here? Right.
So as you can see, Episode 1,
Dark
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh my god, it actually looks like Ewan McGregor.
And if you look to the right, well, I've obviously taken.
Oh
his
shit, yeah,
likeness,
they
I
have,
think, and then, yeah. you can see like ABC, the progression of him from episode 1 Obi-Wan, episode 2 Obi-Wan, episode 3 Obi-Wan, but he's like evil.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's going to be that like he had always been like a Sith Lord throughout his life.
So is this like an alternate?
Yeah, it's like an alternate timeline where I'm not sure what the story reason was, but it's like essentially the Jedi are infiltrated by the Sith. I don't know if it's just like a what if, or if there's actual story reason for the change. I did initially think that it was just like, what if the Jedi had been taken over by Palpatine, they're all evil, and then we'll get different heroes. But it's actually more like the Jedi are evil and the Sith are good. Which I think is a bit hokier, but for a video game, it's still quite
it kind
fun.
Of works for a video game. It's
still quite fun. And
I'm all for this dark old Obi-Wan. I think this looks sick. I think
it
looks
awesome,
cool. Yeah, I think that's a really cool design.
Yeah.
The way it's like an Imperial outfit, but with like a bit of Vader collar.
Yep. And he really suits being bald, I think.
Yeah, he does.
Well, if you thought that was incredible, just wait for a Mace Windu I've just sent to you.
Oh my god. This is like the most neckbeardy thing I think we've ever done.
Or just like sending each other pictures.
This dark fucking Mace Windu.
Well, I do think the concept art is really well thought out.
That is fucking sweet.
It's awesome, isn't it?
I really like that the lightsaber's like black and purple.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be like a purple version of the Darksaber, apparently.
That is really cool.
Yeah. And like, I'll send you another version. There was like a load of different...
makes me want that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. There's also a version of him with bleached blonde hair and different facial markings. And I just like the idea that they're just having fun with it, throwing a different variety of looks at the wall. Yeah, it's cool, isn't
One
it?
of them, he's got like a blade style haircut.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, like this one. With the way it's like shaven on the side.
At the sides.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And then obviously,
that is cool.
Anakin Skywalker would be a Sith Lord as well. So here he is. And his outfit is kind of like a combination of like the non-cyborg parts of Vader with his episode 3 outfit.
That is cool. Although it's a weird look at his face looks really strange. I imagine on how are we going to show the people this, or they just
I think themselves? I might,
because otherwise I was looking at.
I might try and provide a link. I mean, the arc I'm on is from /film. So if you type in to Google /film Star Wars Battlefront 4 concept art, I'm sure you'll find
maybe
it.
If you pop it in like the description or something, people can get to it. Yeah, and then they know then what we're looking at.
Yeah, that sounds
good.
That sounds good. Okay, right. I'm going to remember to do that. And if you're looking at
the
description,
it's work, Matt, but
if you're looking at the description right now and it's not there, you'll know that I forgot to do it.
Which is amazing. Just message Matt, spam Matt, bus wanker, and he will.
Yeah,
also
he'll do
that.
He'll be reminded. He'll make the connection.
Yeah.
I've also pick up your phone, sir, because I've got a few.
There's
I've got a few more. Yeah, there's a few more.
Oh my
mate. There's a
god,
few more.
this is filth buffet.
It is a buffet. There's Dark Side Leia. I think it's quite funny, and the article points out that it's a few years old, so it's from a bit of a different time, and it's like Dark Leia, of course, would for some reason be in a golden bikini.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
But some of the other designs I think are quite cool. I think particularly the one on the far right, where it's like the gold trim.
I was literally about to say that. That one's the bollocks. I really
that's
like
the coolest one, isn't it?
I really like that one. I do actually quite like the first one. I think it's weird. Just something about it.
Would you like to see Dark Luke Skywalker?
That's all I've ever wanted.
He's got 2 purple blades.
Oh my god!
And
that's the thing. 2 purple. Does he need to have purple?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a bit
excessive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just that's the problem. I think sometimes sometimes with video games they make it too awesome. Do you know what I mean? They try to
they up the ante to the point where sometimes it's a bit overblown.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the design on the right, where he's got kind of like a Count Dooku cape, is much better.
That's the better look, definitely.
Yeah, it's got really shows more restraint, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm all for that. One.
But then there's also a Dark Luke, which I think is incredible, and it's almost like he's been scarred a bit like Vader, which I'm now sending to you. I think that's
really cool.
Yeah, that's the design for me. He looks like Doctor Doom.
He does. He looks a bit like who's that? What's the name of that villain with the mask on the front? Who's in the KOTOR? Is it the KOTOR games? Not the KOTOR. What was the
Revan?
Not Revan. No, the one he's bald and he has
Bane.
Is it Bane? Yeah. I think it's Darth Bane.
Yeah, he does look a bit like Darth Bane.
Yeah, especially in that B where it says head studies.
Yeah,
and the way the shoulder pads are like pointed.
Yeah. No, it's a cool design, isn't it? It does
cool.
seem evocative of that. But now I'm really about to blow your mind. All right.
Oh no.
So the story was going to be about, right? Anakin Skywalker realizes the corruption of the Jedi and turns to the light. So he becomes like an old man Jedi Master. And I've now sent that image to you. Feast your eyes, my friend.
Oh my god.
It looks awesome, doesn't it?
That is sick.
It's a great design.
That is a great design. I really like the white.
Yeah, and he looks like a light side Vader, doesn't he? Like in the way they've cut that silhouette and the sort of the armor on the top.
Yeah.
There was also going to
It's
be
cool that he's kind of like balding.
yes, well,
but he's still got he's kept his
he's got a little bit of a
yeah,
wisp,
yeah.
He looks a bit like your granddad, I think.
Oh my god, he does a little bit. That's funny.
There's also a design where it's like he's a bit younger and looks a bit more like Hayden Christensen, and I think he looks a bit more like kind of like Avatar. You know, like Last Bender era Avatar, like kind of in the palette, and he's kind of like bald, but he's a bit more cybernetic. So I've just sent that one to you.
Concept art for the Last Jedi Luke, or no, Force Awakens Luke, because he's in the end. Wasn't it like he was bald and he had like a bit of a Last Airbender look as well, didn't he?
Oh yeah, there were a few different looks they toyed around with that, weren't they?
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, I see what you mean by the Last Airbender.
He does look a bit Avatar-y, doesn't it? I think I might prefer this look, just 'cause I feel like he does still look kind of like a chosen one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that he's young with the mask off, but he's like burnt still. And,
yeah. It's like he's turned to the light before he's like fully become.
Yeah, I really like the dark blue.
Yes,
I think that's really cool. It's different to what we've seen. I
Yeah.
feel like as well, which is now making me think, why haven't we really seen like a dark blue kind of cloak? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's quite a cool design.
Yeah, I feel like they could play around with the colours a bit more.
Yeah.
Jedi. So Leia decides to go with him. So now you've got Jedi Leia right there. I think that outfit is
Jedi
really
Leia.
cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. I like that, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because it looks kind of like Rey's outfit in Rise of Skywalker.
It's
in a
funny you
weird
say
way.
that because Force Unleashed 2 has a DLC, and I recently watched a bit of a Let's Play of it, and Leia is revealed to be a Jedi. It's kind of like in an alternate timeline where Starkiller is like killing off all the main characters.
Yeah,
and she's in a white outfit with a yellow lightsaber and a hood.
That's
and I was like, yeah, she looks like Rey.
They probably must have
Pitched
surely.
it.
Must have.
Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it?
It's two on the nose.
Because surely when you're designing new Star Wars, you look to a lot of old Star Wars.
And you've got to look at the mistakes as well, or mistakes or things people have done right before in all forms, surely.
And particularly from something that's now Legends, you can just cherry pick, can't you? So
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I have no confirmation on that. Here's where I lost my shit.
Oh, there's more!
Yeah, mate, there's a few good more, mate.
Okay.
There's a few good left.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jedi Master, old Count Dooku.
No.
And they've tried to, in some of the
Yes.
designs, make him look a bit like as if he was Qui-Gon evocative.
Yeah, I think that would be, if I had to choose,
Yeah.
that would be sick, because I like that.
Oh, well, choose who to play as. Oh my god, we haven't even thought about this as a game. You've been
No,
playing
we-
as these people.
It's
You've been
ridiculous.
playing as Jedi Dooku.
Ridiculous.
And then there's another design which I think makes him look a bit less like the Big Lebowski.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, that is cool.
There's a
I like the
Jedi
grey.
Asajj. Oh, sorry.
I like the
You're still drinking it in.
yeah, I am. Yeah, the greys. I think I do quite like the Dooku hair coming down like Qui-Gon's though.
I think it's interesting, but I think in the second image he looks like
He looks like Steven Seagal. Yeah.
He looks like Steven Seagal.
But I think but the second image is not the same hair, is it? Hairstyle. He's got more that Rey Qui-Gon.
Oh
look.
yeah, you're right.
Which I prefer. I don't like the ponytail. He doesn't look
For
Big Lebowski.
for Dooku, yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
he
sucks.
doesn't like the ponytail. He doesn't like
Absolutely sucks.
the Big Lebowski.
There's a. I'm gonna quick fire the last of these because
Yeah,
there's still
that's
got a few
fine,
left.
yeah.
And I don't think the Jedi characters are as interesting as the Sith characters.
ones, yeah.
I think we've gone past the best ones,
Oh, okay.
but there's still a few interesting ones left. So there's Jedi Asajj Ventress,
Of course.
Jedi Darth Maul, which I think is the only one that's like a bit of a misfire. He looks a bit like a teenager and he doesn't have any facial tattoos.
Okay.
So I don't know if he was meant to be like the young in perspective that you follow the story through or whatever. An evil Chewbacca.
Have you sent them over?
I'm sending them over in one big
Oh,
batch.
fantastic.
Oh, I can. Well, I'll send these ones now. So there's evil Chewbacca, Darth Maul, and Asajj Ventress. Weird.
The
Right?
Asajj Ventress one is pretty cool.
I think Asajj is pretty cool.
The Maul one's strange.
Yeah.
Because why would he not have the tattoos? They have... Well, they don't, do they? I don't know.
I mean, it's a different creative team, obviously, but I think
Yeah.
it doesn't look like Maul at all, really, does it?
I'm all for the outfit if he has the paint still. Because it just looks like a different... He just looks like another... what the race called? I forgot. From someone else from Daphne.
What the fuck are they called? There's a second image here where he looks a bit like Ray Park, which I think is cooler.
Oh wait, I've just got the Chewie one. Evil Chewbacca. He just looks like
You gonna say him in Solo?
No,
okay.
there is another Wookiee bounty hunter that's in the comics, and he's like black.
Oh, okay. Is that from those Marvel comics?
Yeah, which I think I really quite enjoyed. I can't remember his name because I'm useless like that. Grievous.
Yeah, and I think he was supposed to be like a bounty hunter, but it's like obviously before he gets.
I actually really like that look for him.
It's cool, isn't it?
I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's supposed to be how he looks when he's like organic.
Yeah. And this is the other Maul. I've got Jedi Maul.
Yeah.
Right. See how they've got the white marks there.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind if they still had the same.
Oh, just a different colour. That would be
different colour.
interesting.
I think that could be cool. And I do really like the robes here. But again,
the robes are cool.
The same issue I have is that he's not got the.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Maul. It feels like
Just another
a distinctly different character,
person from his race.
particularly the teenage one.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like all the others, the reason why they're so cool is because, like the Anakin Skywalker ones in particular, they feel like what if Anakin was good when he was supposed to be evil.
Exactly that.
But yeah, I'm sad this game never came out, and
Because
it's never going to now.
It would have been a real fun. I feel like they should do stuff like that more. It feels like they're a bit. I can't ever imagine sort of Disney Star Wars doing anything, taking any risks like that.
Well, it's funny you say that because today the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special is out, isn't it? Which is of course non-canon, and it's not that much of a risk, but it does see Rey going through time, interacting with different characters from the saga. We should check that out before the next episode because I think that'd be fun.
I would like to watch that. I didn't know it was out today.
It's only 40 minutes as well.
Really?
Yeah, so like it's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah, I like that, but also it's like the Lego things.
It's like for kids, isn't it? Yeah,
they can do what they want. Really.
It
makes sense.
It looks
like
fun
Lego
from a plot
Batman,
perspective, but I think it's a shame it doesn't look anywhere near as good visually as it does like the Lego movies and the Lego Batman movies.
It seems like this is more of a one of their short Lego stories that they have on Disney Plus, rather than like Lego Batman, Lego movie.
But I think it's because obviously they've parted ways with Warner Brothers, haven't they? So I don't think they're actually making Lego movies quite the same way they would be anymore. So I think that's why they've made this.
Really?
That's why it's not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because aren't they going to make? They're going to make Lego movies with someone else now, aren't they? And it was like
really.
So they're going to lose all the properties that they can put them in. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame.
That is a shame.
I mean, I think that second Lego movie was fine, but it just came out way too late.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't really like, not that it was getting hate, but I was like, I quite enjoyed it. I thought for me, I started a little bit there. I think for me, the Lego movie, the second one, was kind of like, where could you have gone from the first one? This was the only logical step I felt like you could have gone from where the first one sort of ends off. Like the first one was such a perfect little movie, do you know what I'm saying? In its own right.
And it kind of, because it breaks its own rules at the end, it kind of stops you from making a sequel. It's like, where can you go there?
Exactly. But I feel like the sequel went exactly where it should have. I like the whole sister aspect with the I think that was the right way to go with it.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed it. I think the whole idea that they're in like a musical and like they're like trapped in it is genius. Like I think that's hilarious. And like, it
was definitely fun. I just don't think it was like the essential sequel that Lego Movie kind of deserved.
Yeah, it's not on the same tier. No, definitely not.
I don't think it did very well at the box office.
No, it didn't.
Doesn't seem like we're getting another one.
Yeah, no.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. Because I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll always have the first one.
Yeah, it's true.
And we'll always have these Battlefront 4 concept art, even though we won't get the game.
So we can.
And that Battlefront 3 video from back in the day where you'd get in the ship and you go from the ground right up into space. That shit blew my mind back in the day. And Star Wars 1313, which was also cancelled. And that Star Wars Visceral game. And countless other glorious projects. That Darth Maul game, do you remember that?
I do remember that. But then I also like to think, well, but if those games didn't get cancelled, if those games did get cancelled, sorry, would we have gotten Jedi Fallen Order?
No, it's true. I'm glad we got some of the games we've got. And I really do love Star Wars Battlefront 2 now. I think it's really come into its own. The community is great. I love playing that Heroes vs Villains, but also all the other game modes are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you catch me against my Count Dooku, you're going down, boy. All right? My Count Dooku is sick. He's kitted out.
Yeah.
Fuck you up.
Fuck your shit.
I'm in a real Count Dooku mood lately.
Yeah, you have been.
Yeah.
It's because your videos, I think.
Yeah, because I did that Attack of the Clones duel video, and then I touched on him a lot in this week's video.
Also, I think you've got you've got your backup for your boy Dooku, because everyone shat on him when we were younger.
Yeah.
So you've always including me. I was not a Dooku fan as a kid. Well, as a kid, I'm like, this fucking old motherfucker. I want to see
it's Christopher Lee.
Yeah, I know. I didn't understand that as much when I was younger. I was just like, where's Anakin? Where's Vader?
I always was always like, he's like this like old powerful wizard, and I always thought it was cool that he absolutely destroyed Anakin and Obi-Wan at the same time, and then held his own against Yoda. Like
now I watch it and I'm like, what was younger version of myself thinking?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's nothing but, as you would say, milk, mate. Nothing but full fat. Like
he's the gentleman Sith.
Every line he says is just your sword. Was it your swords?
Your swords, please.
Your swords, please.
I've been looking forward to this.
And this guy
to secure your release.
He's not someone to fuck with.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Dooku.
What could upset you? Because it's a good moment, kind of, in a weird way. Because it's like, what Anakin and Obi-Wan are capable of, and all of a sudden this old fucker is like literally telling them to give his life savers.
Also, for me, it's like when people say characters like Rey break immersion, because it's like, oh, they wouldn't be able to like flip around and like fight and stuff. Like, it's like, well, there was an old man that used to flip around in the prequels. Like, the whole point is that the Force imbues anyone's physical attributes with like, stronger, faster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that a good point to end on? Do you think, Char?
I think so.
That
Dooku is
a
boy.
beast. Yeah. Go watch Attack of the Clones. No, you don't have to go watch Attack of the Clones.
But, you can if you want.
You can or can't. It's entirely up to you. But what you must make sure you do is keep watching full fat videos. On that note, before we go, would you like to plug anything? Anything at all?
Yeah, I'll put the podcast. Like I've said already, we're still on pause because of this whole scenario. We can't really get guests on. It's been a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, yeah, follow the podcast at Your Favourite Film is Awful on all podcasting platforms. So Your Favourite Film is Awful, and then on Instagram it's Your Favourite. It's been so long since I've done this.
Yeah,
Your Favourite Film is Awful, and I think on Twitter it's at Fav Film is Awful. So everything else is Your Favourite Film is Awful, apart from Twitter, I believe, which is just at Fav Film is Awful.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, my Instagram is at @full_fat_videos, but you can find it for just typing in full fat videos, as you can also on my Twitter, which is at full fat videos, and my Tumblr handle is spaghettibeans202. So if you type that in, that'll be me. I don't actually know. There might actually be an account called
there probably
that,
is, yeah.
And they'll click on it thinking it's me. It's genius. We'll see you next
Genius,
week.
Mr. Jameson.
The Daily Bugle. It's hip. It's now. And how. That was actually one of mine.